he's not scared. Like, hey, I'm looking for my son. I'm looking for my son. He knows where I would be. He knows that is the only place you can find me. So he comes there, just holds my ear. How are you playing this ball? You cannot see. You are not seeing. Even your opponents, you are not seeing. You can collide. I got to the barrack. Everywhere was bubbling. Like everywhere, it wasn't normal. I was like, what's happening? They said, congratulations. We had news that you have signed for Union Bank. I was like, signed for Union Bank. Signed for Union Bank. I said, I don't understand. They said, of course, you have signed for Union Bank. Like, I said, me signed for. Is that how they used to sign for? They said, yes. I said, who scored? They said, this boy from Lagos. He said, really? This boy from Lagos scored. How? I said, coach, come on time. I don't see what I want to. Come on time. I don't see what I want to. You know what? If you're coming back home, there's no way you're playing for any other person aside me. And Enyimba came in. I was discussing with Enyimba. Even the agreement was about 98% done. Now me coming back to Remo Stars and getting in the goals, making the news, and you understand. So they felt pained. I would prefer the club should be privatized, because I think with that, more sponsors can come in without being scared of running at loss. Even I, as a player, I was impressed with the Super 8. The final, I was amazed with what they did. There's this CAF anthem. It gives me goosebumps whenever it's being played. Me being considered among those that should be invited alone, it's like a trophy to me. For this season, my set target is total concentration with Remo Stars to win this league. Nigerian football is a very, very peculiar league.
Hello guys, welcome to another episode of the On About Nothing podcast. Not just another episode, another section of the On About Nothing podcast. This is titled The Interview, where we get to interview professionals that are doing really, really well in their field. And tonight, like today, I'm extremely honored. You know, normally I like to tell people on this podcast, so our listeners, that I'll tell my great-grandchildren that I played with Elemeje. I will tell my great-grandchildren that I played with Alimi Sikiru at secondary school level. Do you understand? When they ask me that, Daddy, you didn't play with Messi, grandfather, you didn't play with Messi, you didn't play with Ronaldo, I say, I played with Alimi Sikiru, one of the best strikers in the NPFL, like Nigeria's very own. Like Sikiru, I don't know, it's been ages since I've seen you, but I'm excited to have you on the pod. How are you doing?
Honestly, it's my pleasure. I'm doing very, very fine. Good to see you, bro.
Elemeje is here with me in the house. Like, we'll be doing this together. We're trying to create a new segment and a new podcast that focuses on the Nigerian league. But Alimi, before we get to that, like, you're obviously human, and it would be unfair to skip everything great about you and just focus on what you're doing. Because I mentioned earlier that I've shared some sort of like secondary school level with you, playing with you on the field. But I think the biggest surprise to me was you were, aside from the fact that you're an extremely fantastic athlete, like marathons, running, like most of the Ogun State record for marathon is in your name. Aside from that, you were this midfield general, this supreme midfielder, like playing the 10, playing the 8. Suddenly, you are the top scorer in Nigerian Premier League scoring goals, and I'm wondering, the Sikiru I know was supposed to be Zidane, not Nistelrooy. What changed? Like when did it become a case of, okay, I'm going to become a striker?
Yeah, it's everything changed while I was I was planning on going professional already. While I was even still in my boys' club back in Ajegunle. Then I was already planning on taking football seriously then. You know, my coach then, he preferred to play me as an attacker. Then I had difficulties in changing my role then, because I was already used to the midfield part. But still, I was still still playing both in some games. I used to play as mainly as attacking midfielder, so it was really easy for me to combine both. Along the line, I deviated from being a midfielder into a full-time goal scorer.
Like, did you have to like watch videos? Did you model your career of Okay,
yes,
that's interesting.
It made me watch videos, lots of video clips of Thierry Henry, Van Nistelrooy, Samuel Eto'o, Raul, most of the great stars today. I watched most of their videos, but I think I preferred Samuel Eto'o.
Was that because I know you're a Barcelona fan at some point. I know you have to be a Remo Stars fan. I don't know if you're still a Barcelona fan now. Because was that because or you just liked Eto'o for the ability that he showed on the field?
Yeah. I loved Eto'o, Ronaldinho then. You knew how it was back then in school. Most of us, we model our games around those we idolize, you understand? So I loved Eto'o so much along the line, and his clips were really something for me.
But I'm sure it wasn't an easy transition. At the beginning, did you feel like, okay, I don't think this is going to work, or did you like knuckle down? Because we've seen instances where players would say, oh, the coach doesn't believe in me, I'll go somewhere else to go and play, to go and become a midfielder. Or did you tell yourself that, okay, it's obviously saying something, I have to find a way to make it work?
Yeah, my kind of person, I have never backed down in anything I've been doing. I never backed down. But since he was the coach, he saw something in me and he really believed in me. So I just thought, okay, let me give him this leverage, this freedom to shape me to whatever he's seeing. Because I noticed he was seeing something in me that he was trying to build and model. So I just gave in, like, okay, whatever he says I should do, I would. So I was playing to his instructions, and the way he wanted me to run, my movements, they were getting different, and it was getting intense. I had to just try to fit into whatever thing he wanted me to do then. But it wasn't really easy. It wasn't really easy. It was so strenuous, difficult, moving from midfield back down to the attack.
Before I even come to, I know Elemeje at some point, Elemeje is a badass striker. He was born to be a striker. But before I come to Brides, I remember vividly, I know I spoke about midfield, like you being a midfielder and being this all-round athlete. I know I've told people that since the entire school, since our secondary school saw you at I think you broke into school team like JSS2 or something, or JSS1. It was ridiculous. Yeah, exactly. So since the entire school saw you and they were like, oh my God, this guy has something. There was always the rivalry between you and Francis Oja in our set and all those things. But then you spoke about like going pro. I know Nigerians, sometimes we have this banter when we play football on the streets that, oh, some people will tell you that, oh, I better pass Maguire, or I better pass this guy. And I remember you were the first set of people, like you were the first person to tell me back then that going pro is not easy. Like the gap between a professional footballer and a normal street footballer is too wide. So, but from your own point of view, I know you've always seen it, but how difficult was it that time? Like, was it a daily training? Because I've heard athletes talk about, oh, the amount of sacrifices they had to put in, the hard work they had to put in. What was it like for you at that point?
Though it was difficult, but I expected it because I already knew what I was into. Because my dad played football. He didn't really play for long. He played for a while. He was so unlucky, he got injured. So he prepared my mind for what was already ahead of me if I was planning on going pro then. So I already knew what it would look like, even if the whole picture wasn't really clear then. I was already prepared, either good or bad, difficult, anyway, whichever way it came, I was already prepared then. So, bro, it wasn't easy. Daily training, changing my body figure, trying to adapt from eating to starving to losing weight to fit in some football tournaments so I could get some funds. And it wasn't easy though, but honestly I was already prepared for it.
So Sikiru, like Wale was rightly saying that you were an all-round athlete, and like he's mentioned also, like so many records were already attached to you in marathon. So what made football stick to you? Like other than the fact that your dad was almost a pro, like for somebody that was so good at so many sports, what made the beautiful game just be like, okay, you know what, I am going to face football head on? Like what made those decisions align for you?
Football had been in me even before I was in school.
Interesting.
I have had this. I was so lucky that I wake up to football, I sleep football, I eat football, I drink football. Because back then in Navy barracks where I grew up, my block was very, very close to the main pitch, and then there was no security guarding the pitch. It's so free for anybody. There's access. You have access to it anytime, any day. Anytime, any day. If I wake up in the morning, the first thing I set my eyes on when I peep out of the window is the football pitch.
A group of guys just balling in the barracks and all of that.
Sometimes I play football from let's say from 4 p.m. I play till almost 9 p.m. in the night.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Without light, like we'll just be playing, having fun. You understand? Mm-hmm. My father would just come to the pitch and he knows my body shape. He knows where I would be. He doesn't. He's not scared. Like, hey, I'm looking for my son. I'm looking for my son. He knows where I would be. He knows that is the only place you can find me. So he comes there, just holds my ear. How are you playing this ball? You cannot see. You are not seeing. Even your opponents, you are not seeing. You can collide. Sure, you understand. So it was. I had access to the pitch already, and getting football was very, very easy in the barrack.
Yeah,
football wasn't. It was so easy.
I think that like makes a very good leeway to my next question. There's almost this belief that getting a professional contract into the Nigerian Premier League, especially the Nigerian Premier League, is a little bit difficult. Like people are like, there's so much talent out there. If you don't know person, you guys get connection. What was that first professional contract like? Like, can you just walk us through the process of how you got your first contract? How you were able to settle down into the team? Is there like a structure? I feel like that structure is one of the things that we are missing in this part of the world. You know, like in England, for example, people come in from the academy. There's a very good academy in Southampton that has produced so many world-class players. Like, can you give us a light to how that system is in Nigeria? Like how you got your first professional contract? I knew you played for Sunshine like 6-7 years ago. I still remember that your wonderful goal against Ifeanyi Uba. Like, how did you get into that first contract, and how was the whole process? Was it like you had an agent, or you were signed to an agency?
Yeah, to be honest with you, it's kind of difficult, and you have to be extremely good. You have to be extremely good before you can get what's it called? This this recommendation. You understand? Someone has to recommend you, because most of our coaches, most of our scouts, they don't really go into the streets anymore. They don't have that time. They don't have that privilege to go into the streets to sort out born stars, to sort out talents. Sure, you understand? So mine, I was really lucky though. Like I won't say the mountain came to meet Mohammed, but I worked for it. While still playing in the barracks, I had this my boys club that will play. My coach is the overseer of everything. He's the agent. He's the coach. He's the curator. He's the all and all. The only thing I know, I was the captain of the team. I was the captain of the team. So most of the times I was in charge of some balls, beeps, and the likes. While playing then, there were these tournaments that were always going on, maybe this December period. Most people, I just got back, they are coming back home. Lots of activities, you understand? Yeah. Lots of activities to keep them busy. So we're playing this mock Nations Cup in Ajegunle. Mock Nations Cup is one of the biggest tournaments back then in Lagos then. The likes of Samson Siasia played, Henry Nwosu. Lots of them played this tournament. The big stars of the old Nigerian league, most of them played the tournament. So we were playing the tournament, and during the tournament, I had like agents are coming. You know me, I wasn't moved because I felt most of these agents, they are just here to fulfill all righteousness, maybe to even look for what would benefit them. You understand? So I didn't really know how it works. I was just playing my own game. I was
freestyling
what you understand, playing how I used to. Nothing changed. Not like it's influenced my performance. The first game, the second game, then information started. Like the agents, they were really impressed. Like they were coming back. They were coming again in our next game. So fortunately for us, we were progressing. Bunch of young talents. My team then were very, very young. This Godwin Aguda. One day he also played for Rangers. We were.
I watched him play in one of Agege Township Stadium.
Yes, we were in the same boys club then playing. Wow. So these agents, they were around. Fortunately, we got to the final, and eventually we won the tournament. Wow. So these agents came, and he talked to my coach, discussed with him. He called me aside. He wanted to see me. I was there. He talked to me, asked about my family, and I told him everything he needed to know. He said he was interested, that he liked me. I said, fine, no problems. He said I should come and play with his team. That was what he just said. Like he had this team he was running. So I was there also playing for his team. We were moving. You understand? Most of the places my boys club couldn't reach. He had the resources.
He had the access.
We were going where, you understand? We were traveling, playing bigger friendly games. Like then we were playing the likes of Julius Berger. We were playing First Bank, Union Bank. Along the line, I had information like Union Bank were interested. I played against them and I did well. He said they invited me to come and play with them. I said, really? He told me himself, the agent. I was like, really? He said, yes, that I should go there by tomorrow morning. I should be there. I shouldn't be late. That I should train with them. I was playing under instruction. I just went there, trained the next morning, and I was done. I called him like I trained. He said, no problems. That they said I should come back the next day again. Same, I went there. And fortunately, they said they were traveling for Bankers Cup, that I needed to travel with them. Travel with them? How? my mom is at home.
My mom is at home.
Yeah. I said, travel. Where? Going where? Where should I tell my mom that I was going to? He said I shouldn't bother, that he's going to call my mother. He called and everything was sorted. I traveled with Union Bank. We played the tournament. We came second. Along the line, they said their league was going to be resuming. That I was going to be playing league game with them. I said, okay, no problems. I was on my way going back home. I got to the barrack. Everywhere was bubbling, like everywhere. It wasn't normal. I was like, what's happening? They said, congratulations. We had news that you have signed for Union Bank. I was like, signed for Union Bank. Signed for Union Bank. I said, I don't understand. They said, of course, you have signed for Union Bank. Like, I said, me signed for. Is that how they used to sign for? For club? They said, yes. I said, really? They said, yeah. I said, okay, no problems. And then I played amateur football for Union Bank. I did well. Next season, I moved to First Bank. Also, First Bank, they were playing in the National League. I played for them also, did well. All of a sudden, we had this FA Cup we were playing. So we were playing with, I think, with a club. The center was in what's it called? This Confluence Stadium, Lokoja. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the venue of the game. So we were playing. Our game was 2 p.m. Then Warri Wolves also had a game there. They were to play by 4 p.m.
Just rightly after.
So immediately after our own match. So while we were playing, I was even on the bench. The game was goalless draw as at the time. The coach introduced me. I was into the game, did 1 or 2, assisted, and we won the game. So the coach then just came around like, who is this boy? He said, young boy. I said, I love this boy. I think I'm going to sign the boy. That was what he told the management of the club.
Of First Bank.
So me, I wasn't even interested. I just left. I was done with whatever thing I was doing. Though I saw the players of Warri Wolves then. They were looking good, professional players. I could tell the difference. I admired them, and I said one day I want to be like these guys, and I left. So luckily, the coach of the team, then late coach Ogbede, Solomon Ogbede, he came to our hotel. He said he was impressed with our game, and he gave us a little sum to get ourselves some things, and that was how everything went. So when I got home, I got back to First Bank. First Bank were deciding either to continue with the football team or whether to disband the football team. So the confusion was just there. Along the line, I had a call from my agent like, bro, where are you? I said, I was at home. He said, okay, tomorrow morning, pack your bags. You're going to Warri. I said, Warri. What was happening there? He said, when you get there, you are going to meet someone, and when you get there, we just talk. I said, okay, no problem. So I don't have Tife. He said, okay, that's not an issue. He sorted everything, and the next morning I moved. I got to Warri. We started training, and unfortunately, the coach wasn't there anymore. These stories I was being told. I was being told this particular story of my signing in Warri Wolves, how it came about. So I got to Warri. The coach wasn't there anymore, but the general manager of the club was present. So luckily, it was almost end of the season. So the coach already listed the players he needed.
He wanted to sign.
He needed then. So unfortunately, he was sacked from Warri Wolves. So the list was still there. So they contacted everybody on the list to resume. They signed most of everybody on the list that they wanted. I was the only player coming from from the national league.
From a league, yeah.
You understand? From a national league, an unknown boy. I was there. We were training, and they had a friendly game. They were playing with, I think, one local team in Warri. Then the club had always been a thorn to Warri Wolves in the neck. They were always disturbing Warri Wolves every year. Whenever they play, Warri Wolves always have difficulty winning them. So we were playing the friendly game, and the game wasn't going well. It was 1-0 already against Warri Wolves. Then the general manager was like, "Yeah, where is that boy? There's this boy from Lagos. Where is he?" His manager said he's here. Where is he? Where is he? They were like, "Who is the boy from Lagos? Who came from Lagos? Who came?" I said, okay, sir. I'm the one from Lagos. He was like, "You're the one from Lagos." I said, "Yes, I'm the one from Lagos, sir." Because nobody answered, and I was truly the only person.
Obviously, the only Lagos boy in the building.
It was like, okay. Coach, let's see what he can do. Let's just see what he can do. And he talked to us. He was trying to walk off to the stand where he was seated to continue seeing the game. The coach called me. You've been warming up. I said, yes, I was among the people that were warming up. Okay, they called their own striker. Bro, come, let's this boy come in. Fortunately, there was a throw-in, so the subs were very quick, and I was onto the pitch. Immediately, I had this chance. As early as possible, my first touch of the game, I scored a goal.
Wow.
The general manager was like, "Goal? Who? How?" He said, "Who scored?" They said, "This boy from Lagos." He said, "Really? This boy from Lagos scored? How?" So he was backing the pitch.
So he didn't even see the goal.
He just had goal. He now asked, "Who scored?" He said, "The boy from Lagos that just entered." He said, "Really? Okay, let me watch him." So he didn't bother going back to the stand. He just stood by the sideline. The second ball I did one or two that I could. This hungry boy that wanted to showcase his talent.
I wanted everybody to see that he had talent.
You understand? I just had the opportunity and I scored the second goal. It was like, wow. He called me. He said, come. What's your name? I said, my name is Alimi Sikiru. He said, come here. He held me. He was like, is this possible? Like, the way I was looking so shabby, and he said, really? He said, coach, come on time, I don't see what I want to. Come on time, I don't see what I want to. He said, come on time, I don't see what I want to. So they were preparing for Super 6, and I was included for the Super 6 squad.
Tournament.
Warri Wolves then. Yeah. Warri Wolves, they were into the continental games. So they were preparing. So that Super 6 was always the preparatory tournament for most of the continental clubs. So they were heading towards the Super 6, and I made the team there. Luckily, every striker they signed during that summer, they have played. They signed lots of strikers with huge amount of money. So everybody played, and they were like, no, we're having issue in this place. Salami was not around. He traveled. He was already out of the country then.
I think he had a trial.
So I was the only one left that hasn't been tried during the Super 6. And the senior players, we do train together. They were like, coach, this boy, he's been with us, and just let him try. Just put him. He's a striker. I think he can do something. Let's just try him. And I was tried against almighty Kano Pillars. They were just like, okay, let's just give him the opportunity to show what he can. Luckily for me, I was tried against Kano Pillars. I scored two good goals, early goals, and we won the game. That was how I became a professional player. I signed my first contract with Warri Wolves then. And ever since then, it's been all glory to God.
Wow.
I feel like
that's like the best story to start this pod.
I swear, like, I feel like that's a segue because I have two questions now, Sikiru. Firstly, when you were with Union Bank and First Bank, what you said it was amateur football. Were you guys getting paid even if you didn't have a contract?
Yes. No,
There was
we
an
had
agreement to pay you a certain amount. Okay, you had a contract.
We had a contract.
Okay.
They were playing, but the only thing they were playing in the nationwide league, and First Bank was playing in the national league. Everything was documented. I had a contract, and I was being paid. Even I was to the extent like most of their bonuses were even coming very, very regular.
Wow. Then secondly, you mentioned something about scouting network because I, for one, I'm a firm believer of like the same way you grew up on the streets of Ajegunle, I grew up on the streets of Surulere. Elemeje probably grew up on the streets of Akure somewhere or something. One way or the other, you would have seen talents at different level. And the fact that we're fortunate to go to a military school whereby you had people come from all over Nigeria to come to the school. We saw Mopo. We saw even in our class alone, there was Oja. There were different people, different talents from different level. And I don't know if you know what's going on now. Nigeria finished third in the current under-17 WAFU competition. That means they're not going to the under-17 Nations Cup itself next year. And no under-17 World Cup for Nigeria. And we've always heard speculations and rumors about, there's bribery in that system. I feel like I don't think it's that difficult to find young players to represent Nigeria. There's the GT Bank Principal Cup. There are different ways of scouting. Why do you think it's so difficult for Nigerian, like for scouts to go down, to go to different regions and say, these are talented players that we can put into the system to continue to churn out like under 17s?
Let me chip in this. Initially, it was very, very difficult to get talent because most of these scouts couldn't go deep into the streets to get these talents. But right now, it has been made much more easier. Most of these academies are very rampant and very open right now. This my club Remo Stars, for instance, they have this. We have this academy called Beyond Limits, bro.
Yes, beautiful academy, beautiful. I didn't know it belongs to Remo Stars,
bro. Bunch of talented players are here.
I think the guy that went to Chelsea recently is from Beyond Limits too. That went on trial to Chelsea.
No, he's from Ojodu City.
I think
another
is it
academic
Chelsea
club.
Okay, or is he the one that went to Inter, Akinsomiru?
Yeah, Akinsomiru.
Somiru, yeah. I think he played the last two Serie A games this season. Yeah.
He was a former teammate. He was promoted from the Remo Stars Academy.
Wow.
He's a bunch of talent.
Wow.
I was lucky enough to play with him in my first season.
Wow, that's nice. But my point here is, if these academies, I don't know how many clubs have. I know that Remo, for example, now, if I'm not mistaken, Remo is a privately owned club, not a government-owned, privately owned clubs. They are more motivated. You can see that the owners, the co-owners, have love for football and are interested in football. So, if like Remo Stars and co have the academy, why is it so difficult for those involved in the national teams you set up to go and say, okay, if you don't want to go down, why not just go to these academies and pick players? I don't want to believe Nigeria doesn't have enough talent to qualify for under 17. We've not done under 17 for a while.
Bro, there's enough talent in Nigeria to go around. We can possibly have under 17 players every year if we want to.
Wow. I feel it's just the administrative side that is lacking, because from what you've been saying,
that is our major problem. That is our major issues. Administration.
Okay. I think we should just leave that for a while, because we have spent very a lot of time. So maybe we just talk about Remo Star, and
I think we'll stick to the league now for a while, because I think the best place to start is, Alimi, after your adventure with Warri Wolves, you played for Sunshine Stars, you went to Tunisia at some point, you came back, I think you went to Shooting. Then you decided that, you know what, I'm the Tevez of Nigerian Premier League, Nigerian Premier Football League. I am the Tevez. I will go from one rival in one state to another rival, and nothing will happen. Whether people like it or not, nothing will happen. But before, describe to me, why did you decide that, okay, you know what, I'm leaving Shooting Stars for Remo Stars, knowing fully well that they are rivals, the same city? And was it a case of Remo showed more ambition, or you wanted a change of scenery at that point?
The issue that happened between I and Shooting Stars wasn't meant to be. I respected the coach, a person that serves like a father to me, Coach Benga Ogumbote. While I was out, I had issues with my contracts back then in Libya, because I left from Remo Stars to Libya.
Okay.
And he was my coach here. So that season, I think we left together. He went to Shooting Stars. I went to Libya. So along the line, I had this contract issue, and it wasn't going well, and I didn't want to remain there. I just needed to come back home and really strategize. He was the first person that called me. Guy, where are you? How are you doing? Hope you're fine. He's always like that. He checks on me. I was like, I'm fine, but I'm trying to come back home I had this issue. He said, okay, no problem. You know what? If you're coming back home, there's no way you're playing for any other person aside me. I was like, Coach, you are not in Shooting Stars. He said, yes, wherever he is, I will come there. I said, Coach, I have my reservations about these clubs. You know, he said, he understands that he is there, that I should just, that he said I wasn't going to play for any other club in Nigeria, except I wasn't going to play. He said, if I don't play for him, I won't play for any club that season, except I didn't play, or I didn't kick a ball in the country. I said, okay, no problem. So when I come back, we would talk. So I came back. I had to just respect him and I made that move to Shooting Stars. Unfortunately for me, everything didn't go well. I was coming back, injury. I recovered from injury, trying to find my feet, try to get back to full fitness, and it was difficult along the line. You understand? So after the season ended, I was trying to weigh my options, either to remain or to move. So I felt I needed to change environments. Like it wasn't favorable to me. My first season, I've never had it that bad in my career. I've never had it that bad. So I felt, well, let there be change. So I was trying to make a change, like trying to move. And Enyimba came in. I was discussing with Enyimba. Even the agreement was about 98% done.
Wow. Wow.
The agreement was about 98% done. I was hoping to move to Enyimba, and I was already telling my younger brother, bro, we are moving. There will be a change. And he was like, no problem. Anywhere God says we should. And we're preparing. Fortunately, the owner of Remo Stars called. And he was like, hey, bro, how are you? I said, I'm fine. He said, no, you're not fine. I said, sir, why are you sounding like this? He said, he's worried for me. Like, he knows I'm not enjoying my football where I was. I was like, who said that? He said, he knows me. He knows what I can do. He said, wow. my first half season with them, I think I played it for like 5 or 6 months for Remo Stars. I had double figures of goals, both in the league and FA Cup combined. He said, that is who I am. That is what I can do. He said, I shouldn't waste my time. That he was very sure I wasn't enjoying my football, that I should come back, that everything was set, that I was the only
missing piece
thing is waiting for. That that was only the missing piece in it. I said, "Sir, are you sure?" He said, "Of course." That he needs me. If he is not interested, he won't pick up the call. Imagine a billionaire, a multi-billionaire calling you. You understand? Not because of he is a billionaire, because of who he is and how the love he has for this beautiful game. You understand? And the love he has for me per se. I was like, well, there is no going back, sir. Okay, let's have a discussion about this contract and let's seal it. And everything went well. I just sealed the deal and bro, I felt more like home here than anywhere else.
So if what you are telling us is true, then why were you having backlash from Shooting Stars fans? Like, why were they coming for your head when you made that switch back to Remo Stars, knowing truly well that you actually came from Remo Stars initially? So I felt like the news has been blown a little bit out of proportion.
You know, they felt they were angry. You know, I was in Shooting Stars. Maybe the Alimi they were expecting, they got maybe about let's say 50% of Alimi they expected, maybe not even up to 50%. You understand? So they were angry. Like most of them, they felt, okay, let him go. He's old. There's nothing he can do. That's all he could do. You understand? Now me coming back to Remo Stars and getting in the goals, making the news, and you understand. So they felt pained. Like he was there with us and he didn't show all these sparkles.
that can actually hurt a lot. That can hurt a lot.
Of course. So I that should be the only reason why they were that pained, you know, because there was nothing else.
I still want to, because you mentioned now that you almost like 98% done to Eimba, you almost went to join Eimba, who were coached by Finidi George. As of 2 weeks ago, they still had Finidi George as their head coach, and they are top of the standings now. You guys are currently third, I think about 3 or 6 points behind. 3 or 6 points behind. So you guys, like, the title race is
4
neck
points
and neck.
behind.
4 points behind. Like the title race is neck and neck between all three teams up there. Like, why do you think that you guys have done? I know you said the owner of Remo Stars called you and said it was the missing piece. Like, you were the missing piece and you should come and complete the jigsaw. But why do you think you guys have been really good this year? Because I don't think anybody woke up at the beginning of the season and said, Remo Stars
Remo Stars will be going for
title contenders this season.
No, let me make this notion clear. If you could remember last season, Remo Stars were second on the log. They finished second. They lost the league by a goal to Eimba.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they lost the league by a goal.
Wow.
To Eimba. So Remo Stars had always been there. They've always for the past three seasons they've always been top 3.
Wow.
Yeah, that's true. But you also know one of the issues we faced in the NPFL for someone like me that has been at least following for a while is consistency. You know, I have to say, and I have to give it to you guys, that you guys have been consistent, and at least you've been able to keep the core of your team. We've always suffered consistency in this league, whereby somebody will win the league this season, and next season somebody that finished 8th will come and win the league. Like, you see, what has been that ingredient? Like, I understand, like, I can pinpoint some things you said from the way the owner has been running the club. I also mentioned the fact that you guys have been keeping your core, which is very important now. But I'm very sorry to say this. I'm not supposed to say this, but look at somebody like Sporting Lagos. They came with so much promise. Like, we saw them as a team that came with so much promise, and I was expecting them to do better than they are doing.
Even after they won the Super 8 or Super 6 tournaments in Lagos.
So, what has been that key ingredient that has kept you guys consistent?
I think our major onion had been this togetherness, and Remo Stars hasn't really changed lots of players. We have really kept the most of our players are really consistent, and we've been together for quite a while. So the synergy has been there. We understand each other. There's this general likeness and love in the group. With the fact that the coach is a very talented coach, tactically disciplined, and is good.
I feel like it would be remiss of us like not to mention some of the biggest things that we hear about Nigerian Premier League, like Nigerian Professional Football League, because growing up, even before you like came into the league and stuff, one of the things you would hear in the papers, on radio, on TV is, oh, they have not paid this person's salary for 6 months. This one is owed salary for 6 years. I'm not going to the Nigerian Premier League. As soon as one club in Angola should call one Nigerian player, he has packed his bags. He's going. It seems like now we don't even have, like, that has reduced. We have a lot of players. Some players, after we saw Ahmed Musa, when he didn't have a club in Europe, decided, okay, I'll come and play home before he went back to Turkey again. So players are not scared of coming back home to play. Like, what has changed? Has that the whole salary thing? Is that like a thing of the past?
Yes, it has really improved. Really improved. Because I could remember even my first season in Warri Wolves, there were these issues of backlog of salaries and the rest. But right now it has really improved, and I am very glad about it, because give or take, I'm an ambassador of the league, you understand? So it has really improved, and I am glad about that.
So if we were to pry a little bit,
no problem.
As the Pichichi of the NPFL, can we get a scope to how much you earn per month? What is the bonuses like? I'm asking this because of as people that are aspiring to come into the league, that they don't really need to keep gunning for that what they quote and unquote the lucrative contracts abroad. Like, what is like a basic salary? What is like a bonus? Your terrific game you had against Nigeria Tornado last month, like you had a brace. I think you are making it an habit of scoring braces now. What is the bonus attached to stuff like that? Is there a goal bonus? Like, what is it like?
Yeah, most of these things they differ from individual clubs. You understand? Like these teams, they have their set bonuses for this. They have their set bonuses for that. Every club, they have their own different what's it called? Their bonuses set aside for winning, for getting an away point, for getting an away draw. It's different in all clubs.
No. Interesting.
Interesting. I would love to take a segue down to the national team aspect, but I still want to like one or two questions on the Nigerian Premier League itself, like the league itself, before I move on. I know you said that like things differ and it's a bit different and all those things, because you're seeing how the league is growing and the league is maturing and stuff like that. I don't know if you like, after we saw the success of this Super 8 that happened in Lagos last year, where like the stadium in Lagos was full to the brim. People couldn't get tickets. At some point, security was crazy. It shows that there's interest in the Nigerian Premier League. If it is packaged properly, there's interest. There's always going to be this debate of, oh, it should be run this way. Don't run it this way. It should be run this way. Let's not run it this way. First question I'll ask is, do you think all the clubs should be privatized? If the private owners should come in and buy this club, like Remo Stars and Sporting Lagos?
You're putting Sikiru in a very tough spot with this your question.
Secondly, after the success of Sporting Lagos, we heard like the reports in the media came that the clubs came with a deal and they were like, oh, you know what? We want to be producing our content. Then we'll have our own app. Then people would, like Netflix, subscribe. Then they would give kickback to the Nigerian Professional Football League that, okay, you get a certain percentage. Then the professional, the board, those in charge decided, you know what, we don't want it to be like this. let us be the one producing it for you. Then we'll give it to all the clubs. We'll give you the data and everything. And so far, when you compare the production of what these individual clubs have done, like for Super 8, compared to what the league itself has done, it's miles apart. These clubs can run media better than the league. At what point do you feel like, okay, maybe we should let these clubs do it so that, because at the end of the day, if it is better for it, me, LMJ, like all the people out there, I can go on my phone and say, I'm paying a certain amount of money to watch the league, to watch the games. Oh, I'll subscribe to Remo Stars, watch them every week. The league gets a percentage. But at the current state, it's hard for me to say I'm going to go and download the NPFL app and pay a certain amount of money.
Yeah, firstly, I would say I would prefer the clubs should be privatized. Because I think with that, more sponsors can come in without being scared of running at loss.
True.
Secondly, the production part, it still boils down to how serious these clubs are, how result-oriented, how profit-oriented they are. You know, most of these government clubs, they are just doing this for fun. They don't take it as a business.
Mm-hmm. It's just
so
it's
they just run it.
Youth and sports.
You understand? They just run it like any other job, which is not meant to happen like that.
True.
There are lots of content attached to this league that can be harnessed, which they are not doing. And I think if the clubs are privatized, most people will come in, harness this content, put it out for everyone to see, and everybody will smile home.
True.
And the players definitely get to benefit from it more. Because I think one of the reasons why this has always been in my head for years is back when City FM, particular radio station in Lagos was City FM. I remember Dr. Sid came on. He's a huge fan, huge Man United fan. Don Jazzy, huge football fan, huge Man United fan. And he said, I think he mentioned something about having a conversation with Don Jazzy in the past about buying a Nigerian Premier League club and investing in it. And what stopped them was the fact that, like you mentioned, the fear of running at a loss is stopping a lot of people from, okay, you know what? Let me invest in this. If it was properly run, maybe it was privatized, and you know that you can track that. Oh, if I play well, we win well, we sell tickets, we market ourselves, the money comes in. A lot of people will come into it and be like, yeah, we have the money. Why not? Let's do this. Even ex-footballers that have retired would also come in.
Of course.
That's true. I would also like to point out some few things that was a success with the Super 8. Is the fact that they involved the fans. Look at what Gerard Piqué is doing with his new league. They involved the fans. They involved like every stakeholder. It's not like we just sit down in our Eiffel Tower and we just decide things, because they actually sold the game to us. Like, I would not lie to you. The Nigerian league was more attractive with that Super 8. People wanted, some people don't even understand. Some people don't even know any player, but they just wanted to belong. Like, everybody was talking about Super 8. They wanted to feel among. Twitter was infected. Everybody just wanted it.
Even I, as a player, I was impressed with the Super 8. The final, I was amazed with what they did.
Mm-hmm.
The production, everything was intact.
And it also translated to the quality of the football too. Like, you could see, because the fans were supporting them, the players were willing to actually do
Of course. You see, everyone wants to play his own part.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the aim, like, obviously, I'm biased and I'm rooting for you guys, Remo Stars, to win the league this year, because I know that Rangers very soon now, somebody will score and go, they will lose a match. And you guys will
very possible. Very possible.
They will lose a match. But I think, you know that, yeah, if you win the league or you finish top 2, top 3, there's continental football attached to it, which is a huge plus. Like, for me growing up, like at the early 2000s, you would see Eimba play Alali every time. You would see David Chakase and he likes playing in CAF Champions League. Like, and there's this new, as much as I don't like the format, the new African Football League that's sponsored by FIFA that happened this year is more lucrative for more clubs. They would obviously love to expand. Like, talk to us from a player's point of view. How important or how exciting is this for you to be like, okay, if we qualify for continental football, you get to play against other top clubs from other countries?
Bro, there's everything to be happy about in playing a continental football. You get to travel a lot. You get to meet people. You get to play on other pitches and see other countries and then make some beautiful sightseeing. There's this prestige that comes along with playing outside the shores of your country, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's a pride for every player. There's this CAF anthem. It gives me good pumps whenever it's being played.
The same way we see Champions League anthem giving
the same way we
European
see players
football.
Champions League.
Bro, there's CAF anthem.
Wow. Trust me, I had no idea about that.
I had no idea. I had no idea there was actually a CAF anthem. I had no idea.
Oh, I had no idea.
I had no idea.
If I'm to take a segue now, because I remember in December on our WhatsApp group, there was this comment made by a popular journalist in Nigeria. He covers the Premier League, Nigerian Professional Football League very well. And I posted it on our class WhatsApp group, Sikiru, and I was like, the guy was like, what's his name? Emmanuel Dennis. No offense to Emmanuel Dennis, who plays for Watford. Like, no, he didn't play at the beginning of the season, but he gets called up to the national team. And you were obviously tearing it up in the league. Goes every left, right, and center. Alimi, Sikiru everywhere. And I know you mentioned in December that, okay, it didn't really get to you. But when you look back at it, when you see like, okay, the team got to the Nations Cup final and it did well, do you feel like, okay, at least, even if you were a part of the training camp, learning from the other players like Osimhen and stuff like that, like, is it something that you feel like, oh, you missed out on, or something that made you more determined to be like, yes, at some point I'll get back here?
Bro, honestly, me saying I wasn't disturbed about that, I spoke my mind and I was right about it, because right then I was really focused on doing what I was happy doing. Then I think I was in the best form of my life, week in, week out, getting the goals. I even appreciated the fact that I was being considered more, because if you watch this Nigerian Super Eagles team, we are blessed. Generally, we are blessed with great strikers. Year in, year out, we are always top there in the ranking of strikers. Me being considered among those that should be invited alone, it's like a trophy to me, you know.
Wow.
Among the numerous stars in Nigeria being mentioned, being compared, there's no joy bigger than that for me. I know along the line, what's it called? Invitation might come. It will be a plus to me, but I just don't want to let that be
your motivation,
a stumbling block. Yeah,
okay.
You understand? Be just thinking, oh, I'm expecting this. No, I shouldn't be. I will just continue to walk my ways, keep doing my best. If it comes, fine. And if it doesn't, bro, the world doesn't end.
Yeah, because now, at least everybody, unless you're living under a rock, you know that Finidi George is the new head coach of the Nigerian Super Eagles. Like, okay, firstly, I want you to talk to me about the fact that, okay, are you excited? Like, are the players in the league happy about the fact that, okay, a local coach coaching the local team? Because now we've seen two players from the Nigerian Premier League. Osimhen has been replaced by a player from Nigerian Premier League. Another player was called up initially when the initial team was released. So from the player's perspective, it's a case of, yes, somebody that is in the league, somebody that was once in the league that understands us? And is it like that for the players, or is it just okay? Let's see whether it will pick us or not.
Honestly, everyone is happy about this development. The players, the coaches, we are all happy because he is one of us, and we are wishing him all the best. And we were very sure and optimistic, like he was going to give the home base the chance, which he did. You understand? There is no joy bigger or greater than that. We are trying to wish him well, and we hope he succeeds, because there's this thing they call togetherness. It comes naturally. Everyone is happy. Most of my friends, even the ones outside of Remo Stars in different clubs, everyone is happy. Like, oh, thank God we are getting our chances now. And we hope and pray those that are representing us will do better. So it gives we that are behind or coming, looking up to this, more more leverage to hope to get these invitations coming.
Yeah, because if they do well, it means it shows that the quality of the league is really, really high, and there's nothing bad in calling players from the league. Because at this point now, I know that the whole Nigerian thing is probably not on your mind, and your aim is to finish as high as possible with Remo Stars and what have you. Because now I'm just going to ask and put you on the spot now that, okay, what next for you? I know that unless knockwood, no injuries for you. You guys are on form, flying and scoring goals. You probably end up as top scorer. So I can be shouting on Twitter that, my friend is top scorer of Nigerian Premier League. You people,
my guy.
He's my guy. Do you understand that you guys win the league? But for you, like, what's the next? What are the next plans for you? Is it like just to do well with Remo? Are you hoping to get back outside Nigeria? Are you dreaming of Europe, the national team? Like, what are the plans that you have, like the goals that you set for yourself personally?
Well, personally, for this season, my set target is total concentration with Remo Stars to win this league, because we've really psyched ourselves. We've really talked to ourselves. Like, there is nothing important aside anything short of being champions. Looks like a bad season for us. You understand? So that is my focus right now. Or if other thing that comes in is a plus for me, notwithstanding. But for now, I just want to be a champion.
We wish you the very best.
I think my last question before I
supporting you.
What? Thank you very much.
Say that again. LMJ.
I said we wish him the very best and we'll be supporting him. I personally will be sharing him everywhere.
Before I go and buy my Remo Stars jersey, Sikiru, I have this question, because obviously, like, aside from playing in the Nigerian Professional Football League, you also, like, I don't know if you're still a Barcelona fan, you still get to watch a lot of football outside Nigeria. We all watch the Premier League, and leagues are described in a certain way. Serie A is known for how tactical it is. Like, Serie A is a more tactical league. The Spanish league is a more technical league. The English Premier League is a physical one, whereby it's faster, it's more physical. You have to make your decisions on time. From a player's angle, since you came into the league, how would you describe the Nigerian Premier League? Is it a technical league? Is it a physical league? Is it a technical league?
Like one of my ex-coaches would say, Nigerian football is a very, very peculiar league.
Peculiar, it rounds up everything.
Bro, Nigerian football is a very, very peculiar league. Very tactical, very technical. Bro, it's hard. Nigerian football is difficult.
Wow. I know I said that was my last question, but just to round it up, why do you think, because you mentioned something earlier when we were talking, you talked about the fact that we have abundance of strikers, like Boniface, Osimhen, Lookman, Iheanacho, you yourself, you're not left out itself, like striker, and Giftoban is in Lyon, Simi Wankwa in Syria, Paul Onwachu, Sadiq Kumar, you have Nigerian strikers are everywhere. And one way or the other, it seems like in the national team, strikers everywhere. Midfielders, here and there. Defenders, here and there. Is there like a conscious effort by the coaches in Nigeria to churn out strikers, or do you just feel like maybe it's a generational thing?
It's a generational thing. Nigerian has always been blessed with strikers.
Always. And we even have midfielders that can even still function as strikers.
Wow. I think that does it. That does it for us. Sikiru, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us today. Like, it's been fun having you, finding out your story. Like, I didn't even know that at some point you had to go and collect Union Bank's money to make it into professional football. Like, I had no idea about all these stories, and I just know for a fact that when people say Alimi Sikiru, I say, see, since the first day I saw him, he was talented. There was. If somebody had said you would have played football at that point, I would have said yes, because he was that good. And I'm not saying it because you are here. Like, those that know us, those that followed you right from when you were young in school, will have known that he has something about him. In terms of, you mentioned the fact that you're a captain at youth level. You were captain even at secondary school level. Like, you've always been a leader of men to be like, oh, let's organize it. We even happened to be in the same house at some point, and Sikiru was like, Blue House, so Wale, we go play here. This person go play here. This one go play here. So you were coaching and playing, like, that leadership at a very young age. The leadership was always there, and the ability to see the game from a tactical and technical point of view was always there. So it came as no surprise to me at all when people say, as I said, you have no idea how good he is. Trust me, you have no idea. With the things I saw when we were younger, it scared me. And I'm glad you're able to join us and give us a much more insights as to how the league works, and we're very grateful. Hopefully, this is the first of many. By the time you get your national team call up, or you guys win the league, and we decide to come and pay you a visit in Ibadan,
we'll tell them we interviewed him first.
In Ikene, exactly. I say Ibadan. In Ikene, we'll come, and by the time we come and pay you a visit in Ikene, you'll be able to celebrate with us with your Golden Boot trophy and the league title on your table.
Hopefully, by God's grace. Honestly,
thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your wisdom, because you really churned out wisdom in this episode. You gave us insight. You made our viewers understand and see the NPFL in another different light. And God bless you. And we pray that you keep going from height to height. You will keep churning in those goals from every angle. Like I used to say, your goal against Ifeanyi Ubah for Sunshine Stars is still one of your best goals. I can still remember it vividly. It was from the left side of the pitch, outside the box. I'm very sure you don't even remember it as much as we the fans do. So thank you very much for putting memories in our head. Thank you for because your name would be part of a very cogent part of this history in this league, because I know that the NPFL will see something great, and people like you will be people who talk about when we are no more as active as we are. So thank you for what you do. Yeah. God bless you.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Ciao.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, Sikiru. Have a lovely weekend.
Right. Yeah, thank you.